Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D. And this podcast is designed to help small business owners to look for more ways to be profitable while doing the things that you enjoy out of life. The point of view of this podcast is work with ease. So I teach my clients in my coaching business how to identify the business that they want, who their ideal client is, and how to connect with them effectively. One thing about doing that is it one takes a lot of the work out of acquiring clients, but it also, because we also go into building structure and systems and processes so that you are not doing everything manually and you're not taking on everything, because I am also a believer in the village when it comes to your business. Even if you're a solopreneur, um, you still have that village of people who are working with you to grow your business. So that can include everything from your coach to your accountant to, what I call your advisory board, right? So that's those people that you talk to that help you to make decisions, or those sounding boards, or those people that you can vent to in the moments you need to. Um, so you need to have that community. You need to have um, that community around you. And I also show people how to build that community. Okay, so that's who I am. That's what I do. Let's get into the podcast episode for today. And this is one that I really, really want to touch on. It definitely is something that I've talked about a lot, which is, self-care and taking care of yourself, and how important that is as a business owner, and especially as a business owner who focuses on working with ease and that whole work-life balance part. Then I want to be sure that I am properly addressing this self-care portion. Sorry, trying to get this microphone in position properly, and it's not wanting to cooperate with me today. But I definitely want to make sure we're taking care of that self-care portion, because we are important parts of our businesses. And especially a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we are the crux of the business. If we're not in existence, then, the business itself is not in existence. Now, separate topic, and we may have someone come on and talk about this. But we do need to structure ourselves in a way that the business can live on without us, right? But honestly, we're the brains, the mastermind behind the business. A lot of times we are carrying several roles in the business. And that being said, and just because we're human beings, we need to be able to take care of ourselves, and we need to know what that looks like. And we need to put that as a priority. So I saw someone say this week that they feel like, they never rest because they feel like when they're resting, they're not being productive. And I really, 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 really want to be the person that changes um, how people think about that. I really do, because rest is an important part of the process. And I at one time felt that, I had to constantly be going. I always felt like I had to fill my space. If there was blank space, I felt like I had to fill it with something. And it was very sometimes conscious, sometimes, subconscious. Like I just if the space was there, I found some sort of way to fill it with something. And I've learned over time and through some, transitions that that's just not healthy, but it's also not good for you. It's not good for your business because fresh minds have better thoughts than tired minds. If you notice when you're tired, you make more mistakes. You're also, when you're tired as in general, you're not making the best decisions. When you're fresh, think about how when you come, back from vacation or when you have had just a really good night of sleep, how well restedness, and I'm going to make that a word, how well restedness translates to better performance because you come in and you're fresh, you're excited, you have new ideas, your brain is able to think beyond the panic. But let me get into the topic. I'm sorry. You talk about the importance of rest and incorporating that and getting out of this rat race um environment, and I can go on a tangent. The topic for today is wellness checks. And the reason why I picked this particular topic is really because that's just what I've been seeing around me this week is a lot of situations where we're not doing those wellness checks for ourselves. And as a result, we're waiting until we've experienced burnout, until we spiral, until we blow up to really check on those things. And, that's not uncommon. We all have gone through it. We all, have had that situation where you have that breaking point where you're just like, I can't take this anymore. But I want to make sure that we're doing regular wellness checks on ourselves, on those around us, to make sure that we're not getting there, that we're not waiting until we're at a, point of crisis. And, I use that word loosely because crisis is going to look different to everybody. I don't mean, that we're, necessarily having a mental breakdown, but we might be. We might be, having a panic attack. We might be, having a meltdown because we're waiting until that point to look at ourselves as a priority, to care for ourselves. So we're caring for ourselves, um, kind of in the way of, oh my God, this thing just happened. Let me go run to the ER. Let me go run to the urgent care, as opposed to focusing on continual care so that we're not getting to the point where we are needing critical care. So the first thing I want to say is, personally, if you're listening to this, if you are, if you see the post about this when I share it, I am personally saying this is my wellness check to you as a a friend, as a coach, as a colleague. This is my personal wellness check to you. Are you okay? If you're feeling less than okay, what's going on? Inbox me, reach out. And I implore you to set up those relationships with people around you. Let them know when you need to reach out, and don't wait until you're at that breaking point. Now, if you are, then reach out now. But don't wait until you're at the breaking point. Sometimes you have to just get something off your chest, or you just may not know how to not be here, how to not be in that space. So if that's the case, reach out because nobody should be sitting in that space. There are ways to avoid that space. So that's number one. This is my ex- excuse me, wellness check on you. Two, how are you doing wellness checks for yourself on a regular basis? Because the reality is, we all are living lives. We're all trying to do our best, trying to figure it all out. And sometimes, even those the closest to you may miss that you are in need. They may miss it because a lot of what goes on up here. So a lot of it, your anxieties, your stress, your, overwhelm is not always visible. So what are you doing to do wellness checks on yourself? And I'll use myself as an example. So sometimes, when I just feel like, I'm feeling kind of blah, like I'm not, it hasn't reached a point yet, but I just noticed that I'm a little crabby or just sluggish or whatever it is, then I try to stop wherever I am, whatever's going on. Let's stop. Let's figure out what is the cause. Like, why do I feel like this? And then once I try to figure out why I feel like this, then the next thing is, what can I do to feel differently? And focusing on what that really looks like. So sometimes it's as simple as, let's say I'm having a bad day or I'm just not feeling myself. Sometimes it's as simple as just going and taking a hot shower because it just kind of washes away that icky feeling and you feel refreshed. Sometimes it's getting dressed and even if I have nowhere to go, just getting dressed because it just is changing, it's a physical change that kind of like, signals to your brain we're changing gears. We're leaving this place and we're going to another place. Sometimes, y'all know me, I will take a nap in the middle of the day. Sometimes it's taking a nap. Sometimes you just need to just let go. It's gonna look different, but whatever that thing is, one, you have to be able to identify when things are not right. And then two, what is that thing that I will do to counter that? Now, if things are, beyond just a little off, if things are at that point of, you know, I'm constantly at the verge of the critical, then you need to reevaluate, renegotiate, um, and remove some things from your life. So you need to sit down and look at, why do I keep ending up here? 9 times out of 10, it's some boundary issues. It's some I don't know how to say no issues. It's some I think I need to take on the world. Nobody can do it how I'm gonna do it. Control issues. I can't let go and let others do. It's typically in those types of issues that you are creating the overwhelming chaos in your own life. I know that that sounds harsh. I know that that sounds like, well, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm trying to not be there. I've learned from experience, from working with people, from watching situations. 9 times out of 10, it's you. It's you that have to sit down and make an adjustment, do a wellness check, and figure out, how am I contributing to my own chaos and overwhelm? What processes, what boundaries, what purging can I do to remove myself from that. So that's a part of the wellness check that you need to do for yourself. And when you get to the point where you can start identifying the signs of you feeling not right or feeling off track, and now you have your coping mechanisms or your solutions to those moments. When you have those two things in place, now you can really keep yourself from getting to that critical point, because we want to do continuous care, not emergency care, right? We want to get away from needing that emergency care. Excuse me. So that's the first part. We want to be able to do wellness checks on ourselves. And the second part, we want to be clear to those around us that we are a space for them, a safe space for them to work through their issue when they need a wellness check. Because sometimes, you know, you can stay on top of what you are going through and you can handle that. Sometimes, just like in real life, sometimes we're not in a position to see that we are in a bad condition, because we're just going through and we're just living life and we're doing whatever. But sometimes it's that friend, that neighbor, that other person that's like, wait, are you okay? You look a little off today. Are you, is everything okay? There's a lot of situations where uh, a bystander, whether it's somebody you know well or somebody you just met 5 minutes ago, where a bystander has noticed someone's medical condition, recognized it, and um, because of that person speaking up, the person, life was saved. That happens a lot where someone sees a sign of something from the outside. So be that person for other people. And, that rolls right into three, be clear to the people around you that you feel close to. Make sure you're setting up that relationship with them. Let them know, hey, look, I trust you. I trust your opinion. I know that you care for me. I want you to let me know when you think that things are out of line. I want you to call me to the carpet and say, "You okay?" Because you seem like you're a little agitated, or you seem like you're a little overwhelmed. Is there anything I can do to help you? So build those relationships so that you're always having, a wellness check community. So you're checking on yourself. You're checking on those that are close to you, and those that are close to you are checking on you. But whatever it takes, make your wellness a priority. Even if, I know some of us are, very sticklers for, I'm not going to remember to do this if I don't do X, Y, and Z. Okay, put it on your calendar. Put on your calendar whatever frequency you need it, depending on where you are, depending on just how much you want to get better in alignment. Put it on your calendar that once a week, once a month, I'm going to sit down and do a wellness check. I'm going to sit down and do an evaluation on how life is going, what things are, triggering me, what things do I need to change. Maybe I'm going to start keeping a journal or some notes in my agenda, so that, today I had this experience. It wasn't big enough to, like, stop the world, but I didn't like this triggered something, and maybe take some notes. And when you get to that weekly time that you have allotted, you can sit and think about, how is it that I can make this situation better? What changes can I make that are going to make this situation different? So now I'm not triggered by this anymore, or now this is not contributing to my overwhelm anymore. It may be something as simple as, you know what? I don't need to go to every event because maybe that's just becoming too overwhelming. I don't have I'm running from work to this next thing to this next thing, and maybe I don't need to be doing that. Maybe I need to pick which which ones are more valuable to me, or maybe I need to schedule meetings. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.